What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. And this time, we're going to be covering My Bloody Valentine 3D, the reboot slash remake of the original 1981 cult classic. This film was directed by Patrick Lussier, the protege of Wes Craven, written co-written by Todd Farmer, the man who brought us Jason X, and Zane Smith. This movie stars a pretty solid cast consisting of Jamie King, Jensen Ackles, Kerr Smith, Tom Atkins, and Kevin Teague. Okay, let's make this review as short and sweet as possible. What do I think My Bloody Valentine 3D? I think this is one of the better horror remakes to come out. I think it's really, I think it's really smartly written. It has a lot of funny lines. It has some really good. He has some good dialogue scenes in this movie. I think Todd Farmer is one of the more underrated horror writers. He brings a lot of wit to his scripts. I'm not a big fan. Like, I like Jason X more than Jason Goes to Hell for the cheese value of Jason X, and I like the self-referentialness of that movie as well. And this movie also has a little bit of that self-aware wit to it. Has a little more of that self-aware wit to it, but it also has some good character moments and good quips between the characters as well. Speaking of the characters, I really like the actors in this movie. I like Jensen Ackles, who plays the character of Tom. I like Kerr Smith, who plays Axel. Jamie King, who played Sarah, did a good job. And any movie that has Tom Atkins and Kevin Teague in it gets an automatic pass for me. Tom Atkins is awesome in anything he's in, and Kevin Teague is a good actor as well. What Now, this movie does have the core elements of the original movie. You have the mind, and you have the love triangle that was in the original movie. But I think the love triangle in this movie was done so much better. It had more layers to it. No, in this one, the character of Axel, he's the town sheriff, but he's also messing around behind his wife's back. Not only that, he's getting his mistress pregnant. Axel, pull out, bro. The character of Tom in this movie, he's also much better. He's also much better written than he was in the original movie. In the original movie, TJ left the town, then came back. We don't know why. In this one, there's a reason why Tom left, and it's all explained in a prologue. A Valentine's Day party happens. Harry Warden comes out of a coma, and he causes a slaughter, and he tries to kill Tom. Now, the reason why Harry Warden is going after Tom specifically is because we find out that Tom and Harry worked together, and Tom fucked up on his job. It caused an explosion which killed people. So Harry's out to get Tom because of a mistake, and he almost does until he's stopped by Tom Atkins, who is the sheriff during the prologue. And I like how this tortures the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, this psychologically caused Tom a lot of damage, where it's revealed he spent 7 years in a mental institution. This movie also screwed up Sarah in a way because after Tom left, she was distraught. And I like how these characters are very broken. You know what I'm saying? And again, it adds a lot to this triangle between the three mains. Sarah, Axel, and Tom. And I thought Farmer did a much better job at making the characters have more. Excuse me. Making the characters have more drama to it, and make them more likable. Even though Axel's a douchebag, he's a kind of sort of likable douche. Even though Tom kind of pussied out and left, you still kind of like him, and you want him to get over his fears, and you kind of want him and Sarah to get back together again. Of course, when we get to the big twist at the end, we find out that Tom's a complete psychopath, and that because he spent those 7 years in an institution, he developed a split personality where he goes back and forth between being Tom and being Harry Warden, and it's revealed that Tom was the one who was doing all the killings because of his psychological damage. The twist, I'm of two minds to it. I know what they're going with, but But when you look back and watch the movie, and then you see how them explain how Tom was able to do all these things, I've never been a big fan of the whole sleight of hand thing. Like, what you see is not what you really saw. It kind of makes me feel that my time was wasted watching those scenes of moments with Tom and Harry in it. Well, Harry and his imagination in it. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. I think that's where the cheesiness of a split personality. That's where you really got to suspend your disbelief. And I've never been a big fan of those. I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but it just I don't know. I don't know. But aside from all that stuff, a lot of this movie is actually really, really good. You know, the practical effects in this movie, they're much more refined, they're more gruesome, more visceral, and I love it. It's good stuff. The kills by the miner are all well done and they look great. I like the 3D aspect, gives this movie a layer of corny cheesiness. Like the original movie had its own layer of cheesiness, this movie has its own layer of cheesiness. You know, like I said, I really like the look of the miner, you know, the black jumpsuit, the gas mask, and the miner's helmet. Again, this is a really underrated horror character that could have been its own. That could have been its own thing, like a Freddy or a Jason, but he never really took off. And I really thought, and looking back now, 10 years later after the fact, it's kind of a damn shame this movie never really became a franchise because it leaves it open. The ending leaves it open because Tom survives, and this movie never really had an ongoing franchise to it, which I thought was a pretty what I thought was a letdown. This was your second chance to make a first impression and get a franchise going in instead of just a one hit wonder. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Missed opportunity because the miner will go down as one of those cool looking characters that never really went anywhere as an ongoing thing. But aside from all that stuff, like I said, the special effects are great. The performances are light years above anything in the original movie. Now I criticize now of course the bad acting in the original movie just added on this extra layer of cheese. But when you're comparing this to that, this movie is light years better. The actors in this movie are so much better. They take the material more seriously. Their performances seem more genuine to me. The character relationships work better for me. I think it just more well handled, and it's what I'm trying to say. Not only that, I think Patrick Lussier is a much better director. You can clearly see that there's a lot of Craven influence in his direction. Again, he is a protege of Wes Craven, worked with the man for many many years. Obviously, he's going to pluck his brain and pick up those classic Craven techniques and apply it and put his own unique spin on it. And that's what Lucier did. And I think he did a great job behind the director's chair. Um, like I said, I think the cinematography in this movie gives it a layer of gives this movie a made-for-TV type feel for it, which also adds on to it. Which also is again like the 3D aspect, also gives this movie its own layer of cheesiness to it. Yeah, I think I think that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about My Bloody Valentine 3D. Overall, I really like this movie. I like it better than the original, to be honest with you. I think this movie is much better written, better acted, better directed, and it just has a better feel to it as opposed to the original movie, which is a product of its time. This one comes out came out in a day and age with the slasher genre. It's not really as popular as it once was back then. So seeing a movie like this come out in 2009 to me made the horror genre feel fresh again, since it's polluted with found footage garbage. And every other movie is a goddamn possession movie. So when you get a good old fashioned slasher, it's gonna be a fun ride. So yeah, slashers have a special place in my heart. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give My Bloody Valentine 3D solid 8 out of 10. I enjoy it a lot, and yeah. Okay, well, those are my thoughts on the My Bloody Valentine 3D horror remake. Let me know if you like this or the original down in the comment sections below. Like this video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.